We explain English colonial beginnings in the Western Hemisphere. The English colonial experiment in the Western Hemisphere mirrored the Spanish experience in many ways. Much like Columbus had left behind a colony on Navidad that he later found had been wiped out, Walter Raleigh sent out a colony under Governor White to Roanoke in the new area he named Virginia, after Elizabeth, the Virgin Queen. White returned home and then was kept from returning until 3 years later, where they found no trace of the colony except for the word Croatoa. Another similarity is that both Christopher Columbus and Sir Walter Raleigh would be arrested. In Raleigh's case, he was accused of a variety of acts of rebellion against the crown, first under Queen Elizabeth and then her successor, James I. Unlike Christopher Columbus, Sir Walter Raleigh would be executed. Originally, Elizabeth's plan for overseas ventures involved sending people to gather resources and also building bases for launching pirate attacks to harass the Spanish, their biggest rival in the religious wars that had broke out from the Reformation. In 1588, the English and the Spanish famously clashed in the English Channel. Spain was mad about the pirate attacks on their shipping, Elizabeth's support for Dutch separation in the Spanish Netherlands, and also the English treatment of the Catholic Irish. Pope Sixtus V blessed the venture, hoping to bring England back to the Church. In the end, a 7-mile line of Spanish ships sailed to England. Sir Francis Drake started the affair off before the Spanish even got started by raiding their supply ships at Cadiz. The Spanish also faced the wrath of English weather, English long-range cannons, and the tactics of Sir Francis Drake and his crew. They also faced a British surprise attack that involved sending burning ships at the Spanish lines in Calais. In the end, the English would defeat the Spanish Armada and have open access to the Atlantic sea lanes. The Dutch would break free from the Spanish, beginning their own course into the Indies. After the death of Elizabeth, James I was crowned king and then tried to put an end to the religious wars by making a peace treaty with Spain that would end piracy. Sir Walter Raleigh is said to have been executed because he disobeyed this order. The peace treaty allowed for safe Atlantic passage for the English to begin colonizing the Americas. James signed off on a couple of charters for the creation of the Jamestown and Plymouth colonies under the joint stock companies of the Virginia Company and also of the Plymouth Company. They were given permission to settle all land from Cape Fear to Long Island, and also to build 2 separate colonies as long as they weren't within 100 miles of each other. Jamestown was established in 1607 to harvest resources. The first Plymouth colony had been built in 1609 but failed shortly after. Jamestown itself was unprepared for the conditions of this new world and had brought more tests for gold than they had actual supplies. Enter John Rolfe. In 1610, Jamestown Colony was facing extinction from the harsh winter, and also an explosion that had removed John Smith from leadership. Oh, and also a shipwreck in Bermuda that had destroyed their supplies, a war between the Powhatan tribe and themselves, where they couldn't leave the fort, dwindling supplies, and accounts of cannibalism. Enter John Rolfe and his stolen Spanish tobacco seeds that would change the destiny of the colony.